Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. This is your April 2020 horoscope for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising. So before we get into the cards, I'd like to take a look at the astrology. So this is going to be a little bit something different as we're going through these more difficult times. Please remember to leave a like as well as a comment if you enjoyed this. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. So taking a look at the first major event here in April, Venus enters Gemini. And so we are leaving this beautiful transit of Venus in Taurus. And Venus in Taurus did make the conjunction to Uranus in Taurus as it moved into Taurus at the beginning of its transit. And this really was a shakeup of our values, our relationships, our security, our foundation. Especially for those of you who have Sagittarius rising, this is really a change, a shakeup in your routine, in your everyday life, for some of you in your job, in the way that you handle your responsibilities. And so you can see a major shift in your everyday routine and lifestyle, which for many of you is very particular, very structured, very methodical in the way that you do it. For those of you who have Taurus in your 6th house, so you can be pretty particular about your routine and your daily life. And so it's interesting having Uranus here shaking things up, encouraging you to do things differently in this area. And as Venus crossed Uranus, really looking at your values, looking at your relationships, right? And so it's interesting as Venus comes into Gemini, into your 7th house, this is directly affecting you in the area of relationships. And this is going to majorly affect you as you're going to see Venus make a conjunction to the North Node in your 7th house, as well as Venus going retrograde later on in your 7th house as well. So big story of relationships for you, Sagittarius rising. Even for those of you who have Sagittarius Sun or Moon, you may also feel this as well. Major change as far as relationships, as far as your connections, as far as work, business for some of you. And so something that you're going to see majorly is that this full moon, which will happen on April 8th, and we'll talk about that more in a future video, so keep an eye out for that. But this full moon is going to make a conjunction with Juno in Libra. And for many of you with Sagittarius rising, this puts this full moon back in your 11th house. And so back in this social area of friendships, of groups or organizations that you are a part of, also of your hopes and wishes and dreams being fulfilled. And so major moments happening here in the social area of your life for those of you with Sagittarius rising. So very interesting that we're seeing this. This could definitely indicate a new approach to the way that you work and handle business. This could indicate a new relationship starting up, right? This could indicate a lot of different things happening here depending on you and your life in this specter of relationships and your social life and your business life. So a lot going on here for those of you with Sagittarius. And so that takes us to the next major shift that we will see here in April, which is Jupiter making a conjunction to Pluto. And this is huge, as this is the first time that we will see Jupiter making a conjunction with Pluto in Capricorn, with Saturn in a different sign. So, with this can feel like a major relief taken off in this area where you have to deal with finances and your morals and your values, right? A lot of you with Sagittarius rising especially have very strict, very strong moral values. And so it's interesting with Saturn leaving this can definitely make you feel like a bit more free, a bit more like you don't have to stand by these strong values and belief systems, right? A lot of you can be a little bit dogmatic, a little bit strict about the way that you handle this house as Capricorn is here, and you've had all of these planets jam-packed in here, this intensity, right? Dealing with finances, dealing with values, dealing with the things that you hold worth in your life. And so one thing that you can see in this area is you can feel major relief in this area, major freedom in this area, right? Not as intense as it has been in the past. However, this is still this major transformation that is shifting and expanding this area. And so for many of you, you can see a growth in your finances. You can see a growth in this area of security and values and the things that you find worth in, the things that you possess. And this makes a lot of sense as this is going along with your house of work and routine that is majorly going through this shift, this transformation, as well as this activity going on in your 7th house for many of you, right? And this will vary, of course, depending on the degrees of your ascendant, depending on where your houses are located. But for many of you, this puts your typical Sagittarius rising 7th house in Gemini, creating all of this Venusian activity that we will go through, that will continue throughout May and June. So we're going to see major shifts going on in this area of partnership, of business, of relationships, of marriage for some of you, right? This area of relating to the world is going through this major moment with Venus here. Now, this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction will also make an aspect over to Mercury, which is now entering Aries. And so with Mercury here at 0 degrees of Aries, this can finally feel like there is some clarity coming back. There is some knowledge, some understanding that is coming back into play here. As Mercury had to go through this major retrograde in Pisces, it went all the way back into Aquarius, into your 3rd house for some of you, where you might have felt some short-term clarity, right? As it went back into your house of knowledge, of communication. But as it has been in your 4th house of Pisces, it really is about finding the clarity and the connection through your family, through the people closest to you, through the home life. And so things have been a little uncertain, a little bit unclear out in the public. where you want to make sense of things, you want to understand what is going on. And so, as Mercury shifts its way into Aries and enters into your fifth house for many of you, this really creates some clarity. This really creates some knowledge in terms of what you want to express and show the world. And so for many of you, this could be a time of you really expressing and putting your gifts out there. This could be a really good time for you to utilize your talents and your skills. And this in turn goes along with this shift, this transition that will happen here in your sixth house of work, of responsibilities, of everyday routine. And so here on April 11th, with this shift of Mercury entering into your fifth house, really bringing in this clarity and this knowledge in this area of fun, of excitement, of romance, of creativity, of your skills, of your gifts, of what you want to show to others. Now keep in mind though that Mercury is going to make a conjunction to Lilith and Chiron as it enters here in Aries. And so with this can bring a lot of intense feelings to the surface, a lot of insecurities, a lot of fears, a lot of doubts. And so this really is a time to remember to believe in yourself and remember that it is okay to put your gifts and your talents and your skills out there for others to see. Now, Mercury is also in aspects, right, making the trine over to this moon in Sagittarius. And so this is interesting, as this is an out of sign trine, right? Normally this trine here, as it's very close to Pisces, right on the cusp, feels a little bit out of place. And this can give you a feeling of really being out of place. But with this moon in Sagittarius, it can also give you this feeling of wanting to adventure, wanting to explore, right? And it goes along with this Mercury that is sitting here in your fifth house, which is creating all of this energy and all of this excitement around wanting to try something new, around wanting to put your talents out there, right? So this is a very good time for you to be creative, for you to put your skills out there, for you to do something new, something fresh in your life, and really encouraging you to enjoy yourself, to have fun. And as we are going through these difficult times, it really is a time to be humorous, to have fun, to laugh, to do something that you enjoy, right? Getting into a new hobby, expressing your skill, something fun that you can do at home that can lift your spirits. And with this moon here, again, depending on where your degrees fall of your ascendant in Sag, this moon is entering your first house. And so this can make you feel very sensitive. This can make you very emotional, bringing a lot of feelings to the forefront of your experience. And so this can be a very intuitive time for you. This could be a time of really wanting to connect to others. But be very cautious here with this moon sitting in your first house, as this can make you very reactive, very emotional, very sensitive. And so be careful of how you are responding and reacting to your environment. Now, also for many of you, this is Mercury making an aspect to your ascendant as well, right? For those of you who have Sagittarius rising, this is Mercury making an aspect to your rising sign. And so this can really make you very, very talkative, very expressive, very mind-oriented at this time, wanting to express your ideas, your opinions, wanting to utilize this new information or these new ideas to do something different, to really put yourself out there. And so this can be a time of a lot of restless energy. And so once again, you want to utilize Mercury being in your 5th house to do something fun, to do something exciting, to put your skills and your ideas into something, as this could be a very restless time, really a time of having difficulty, especially with this moon in your 1st house as well, having difficulty sleeping, having difficulty relaxing, having difficulty sitting still, as this can really make you full of a lot of mental activity, a lot of fresh new ideas that you really want to explore and utilize at this time. And Pluto and Jupiter are also a part of this. Saturn as well, which is all about this transformation in your security, in your everyday life, in your finances, and what's familiar, right? This is shifting and changing what is familiar to you, and also your familiar connections, right? This is Saturn sitting in your 3rd house of siblings, of neighbors, of what is familiar to you. And so the people that you associate with daily, every day in your life, that you see all the time, can also go through a major shift and change as Saturn is entering into this house to create a new reality. So let's take a look at the next major transit. So on April 19th, the Sun enters Taurus. And once again, for many of you, this is your 6th house of daily routines and responsibilities. And so this can bring a light, shine a light onto the things that you should be working on and the things that you should be putting your time and your energy into. The responsibilities that you should be taking care of. And so what is really important here? What are the true responsibilities? What is the actual work that needs to get done? This Sun entering into this house can really shine a light on this area for you. And keep in mind that the Sun entering Taurus is going to make a conjunction right away with Uranus in Taurus as well. And so this can really shake things up. This can really change things up in a big way. This puts a light on this unexpected change, this radical moment of shifting and changing in this area of your life. And so with this here, once again, you can really feel motivated to do something different in your work life, to do something different with your routine. A lot of creative talents, a lot of new abilities, a lot of different skills here coming to the surface. And once again, in this 6th house, keep in mind that the 6th house is traditionally ruled by Virgo. And so there is this mercurial energy here where once again you can feel very restless. You can feel like there's something that needs to get done. There's something that you need to take care of here. And so with this can create a lot of restless energy once again. Now, the North Node is here sitting at 1 degree of Cancer. And so keep that in mind that the North Node is on its way into Gemini, which we will see in May. And so with this, the North Node is going to make that conjunction to Venus in your relationship house. And Venus will retrograde in your relationship house as well. And so this can really be a big time for you from April to May to June, right? This spring season for you, Sagittarius, of really reevaluating your relationships, thinking about entering new relationships, right? A lot of big moments happening here in terms of partnership. And remember that this can relate to business partnerships. This can relate to your professional life. This can relate to the way that you relate to the world around you. Right? So when we're talking about relationships, we're not just talking about romantic relationships. We're talking about all different types of relationships. And so how this affects you really does depend on you individually. So take this how it resonates with you in your life. Also, with this Sun entering into Taurus, it is also making a sextile over to this North Node in Cancer. And Taurus and Cancer have a lot of similarity, as the moon does love being in these two signs. And so there is this element of comfort and security with Cancer and with Taurus. And so there is this relationship here between your more hidden, more private life, more intimate life, and between the jobs and responsibilities and tasks that need to get done in your life. And so with this can really be a call to be more emotional, to be more connected in your work, in your daily routine, in your life. And so a lot of feeling, a lot of passion can really go into what it is that you want to work on, what it is that you want to take care of during this time. And so once again, really getting this energy of restlessness, of a lot of activity, of wanting to do something new, wanting to take care of responsibilities. And so really during this time, Sagittarius, this can be a time where you want to really take the time to work on a project, take the time to exercise, take the time to do something that really gets that energy out. Because once again, this can create sleep issues. This can create health issues, right? This is Uranus sitting in your house of work and responsibilities, which also happens to be your house of health, right? Hygiene, taking care of your body. And so with this can also create issues with your health if you're not getting enough sleep, if you're having all of this restless activity to the point where you can't go to sleep at night. And so this can really be a time to put your energy into something that is valuable, into something that you are passionate about. The Sun's also making the aspect to Neptune in Pisces, which for many of you, Pisces is ruling your home life, your family. And so this can create a huge connection to family, to the home. It can also create a lot of imagination and a lot of creativity, a lot of ideas that can come from family members and those closest to you that sparks this inspiration, this creativity within you to really want to create and do something new. And this is also corresponding to Jupiter and Pluto sitting in Capricorn. So also creating financial gains, creating profit in your life as well. And transforming the way that you look at money, the way that you look at these physical possessions, the way that you look at your security as well. For many of you, you can see a lot of spiritual insights that really move you away from this need for money, this need for security, this need for finance, right? So this can be very liberating as Jupiter is trying to expand this area, and Pluto here trying to transform as well. And so you can really go through this intense, expansive transformation in this area where it does change your perspective, change your outlook on your values, on your possessions, on your money, on your security. So let's take a look at the next major planetary shift. On April 22nd, there will be a new moon in Taurus. And so this puts our two luminaries in a conjunction with Uranus. And this is a major light that is being shed on your routine, on your responsibilities, on your work life. And so once again, you can see radical shifts and unexpected changes in your daily routine, in the things that you work on, and the things that you are responsible for in your life. This can put a major light on these changes that are being made and the changes that need to be made in this particular area for you. This is also, once again, applying to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. Also, I want you to pay attention to Pallas Athena, which is also playing a role in this as well, as Pallas Athena is this asteroid of wisdom, of knowledge, of the way that we handle disappointments and difficulties and challenges, right? So this Pallas Athena is all about wisdom and strategy and how we overcome difficulties. And so with this sitting in your second house of values, of money, of finances, of your self-worth, right? And the thing that I want you to pay attention to the most here is your values and your self-worth. Those of you who have Sagittarius rising tend to have very strong moral values, a very righteous nature of really wanting to do what is right and living by a certain value, a certain belief system. Remember, Leo sitting in your house of beliefs. And so you tend to be very confident in your opinions and your belief systems. Now keep that in mind as Pallas Athena is sitting in this house of values, of self-worth, of your morals. And it is also playing a role in this new moon, which is changing your area of work, your area of responsibilities. And so something big that can really happen for you is your belief system can change. Right? And you can take advice from others, and this can help you go through this shift, this change in your area of work and routine. And so for those of you who are not open to the ideas and the beliefs of others, this could be a really difficult time. This is really asking for you to take the advice, take the wisdom, take the assistance from others to help you in this area of your daily life, your routine, your responsibilities. And with Saturn leaving Capricorn behind, it's sitting here in Aquarius, it can feel like a weight is lifted by someone stepping in and assisting you in this area. And so keep that in mind as Pallas Athena is sitting in this area of your values and your morals, that it is here to assist you by you changing your values and looking at things in a different perspective. This new moon also making an aspect over to your rising sign, right? And for many of you, this aspect will be an in conjunction, depending on where your degrees are. But with this aspect, it can very much feel like you are losing a sense of yourself, like you are lost, like you are confused, like you are really trying to think things over, looking at things differently, trying to plan for a new way of handling your daily routine and responsibilities. This is also making the aspect over to Venus, which this Venus in Gemini in your relationship house is really asking you to be more social, to be more interactive, to have fun, to enjoy yourself. But also this plays a major role in this new moon, as once again it is asking you to be open to the ideas of others. It is asking you to ask for help. It is asking you to reach out to others to really help you in this time of trying to come up with new ideas, trying to be more creative, trying to apply your skills, especially for those of you as it applies to your work life. So let's take a look at the next major transit, which will be Pluto stationing retrograde on top of Jupiter. And so we've already had this major intense Pluto-Saturn conjunction here in January. And so Pluto is not going to catch up with Saturn in Capricorn. And Jupiter here trying to catch up. Jupiter will not catch up until December, when we have this major great conjunction in Aquarius. And that is something that we will talk about later on in a future video. So stay tuned for that, for the great conjunction. But Saturn here in this new space of Aquarius, this is brand new, this is fresh, right? So Pluto is not going to catch up to Saturn in Capricorn. And so with Pluto here, it is really in this brand new space of only really having to connect with Jupiter, right? It is in this space of creating this big expansive transformation here in Capricorn. And things are less intense here as Saturn has moved along into Aquarius. And so this is interesting here with Pluto going retrograde without Saturn. And so as Pluto goes retrograde with Jupiter on top of it, really this is a transformation internally, right? This is not about the world. We've already went through the world transformation, right? We're already coming off of that intense moment of Saturn and Pluto coming together in Capricorn, and Saturn moving ahead into Aquarius. And so, as we've went through this major intense world transformation that is going to create this environment that will never be the same as it once was, this is also creating an intense transformation within you. And this is sitting in Capricorn. So in your house of values, of self-worth, of finances, of routine. So this is really changing your foundation within you. This is changing your structure, your security that you have put into place in your life. And so this is asking you to look at things differently. And as we go through this review period of Pluto retrograde, it is going to get you to take a look at the transformations and the changes that need to be made here in your life. And also, the Sun and Uranus, both at 6 degrees, making the aspect as well, playing into this, as this is a major shift, once again, in your responsibilities, in your job, in the way that you handle things in your life. This is also making the aspect over to Mercury in Aries. And Mercury is in a conjunction to Lilith as well. And so once again, a lot of things coming to the surface about what it is that you truly desire and what is truly liberating, what it is that you truly want to achieve, to accomplish, to create. Remember, this is in your house of fun, of excitement, of creativity. This is about working on a new project, having a new experience. And so as Lilith is here trying to liberate Mercury, bringing these new ideas to the surface, these new desires, these new plans, it is here to help you create a new project, a new experience in your life, and directly correlating to your work, to your finance, to your security. Now, this Pluto retrograde is also making an aspect over to Neptune in Pisces, where once again you can pull a lot of your inspiration, a lot of your creative ideas, a lot of this new way of doing things from your family, from your home life. Okay, so big month to be creative, big month to show off your skills, your talents to others. Big month to come up with new ideas about work life, about routines, about hobbies that you want to get into for some of you, right? Big time to do something different in your life that does help you through this moment of really feeling very restless and needing an outlet for all of this newfound energy. So let's take a look at this last major transit here in April, which will be Mercury entering Taurus. So yes, Mercury has passed, currently has passed its shadow phase. And so Mercury is now speeding up. And so in April, yes, it will enter Aries, but then it will also enter Taurus as well. So Mercury is moving very, very fast at the moment, and we are going to see it retrograde again in Cancer. So that'll be in the summer when we have Mercury retrograde once again. But right now, Mercury is very fast-paced, full of ideas, full of information, moving through. And as it enters Taurus, it enters into your area of work, daily life, and routine. And once again, this is this big moment of why I mentioned that you want to get into new hobbies, you want to exercise, you want to do something with your time to get this outlet of energy out. Because as Mercury enters into this 6th house of work, daily life, responsibilities, Mercury is very fast paced. It is moving through. It's full of ideas, full of mental energy and activity. This right here, as Mercury enters into your 6th house, can create health issues, particularly around not exercising, not getting enough sleep, not taking care of your body, as Mercury enters into this house of health. Because this is putting clarity and focus into your area of health and responsibilities, right? The things that you need to take care of, including your physical body. And so with this, you want to keep in mind, especially as Lilith is in conjunction with Mercury, which is sitting in your house of health, that be careful of sweets, be careful of sitting around doing nothing, be careful of these impulses and these desires to do things that are not beneficial to your body, as Lilith is all about these hidden desires, right? Lilith wants to do her own thing, very strong impulsive desires. And so this is definitely a time where you want to pay attention to your body, to your immune system, to taking care of your physical health, right? Making sure that you are getting enough water, making sure that you are getting enough exercise, making sure that you are getting enough sleep, getting all of that energy out, because there is a lot of restless energy that is surrounding the things that you want to do, these creative ideas that you want to express. And so make sure that you are getting all of this restless energy out. Now, Mercury is also making a sextile over to the moon, which is sitting on top of the North Node. And this is major time here, as this will be one of the last major moments that we see the moon with the North Node in Cancer. And this is your last moment to do what makes you feel comfortable, to do particularly what you are passionate and driven about, as it is sitting in your 8th house of hidden passions and desires, of secrets, of connection, of intimacy, right? This deeper, more hidden area of your chart. And so really, it is a time for you to do what you are passionate about. Do what you feel driven to do. Do what makes you feel good. Do what brings that sense of joy, that sense of connection into your life. Trust in your natural intuition to navigate you through this time. And so this is going to be a major time, a major moment of impulsive feelings, deep desires. And so what I really want to say for this chart here, for those of you with Sagittarius rising, is make sure that these desires are coming from a place of what you want to creatively express, what you want to put your value and your time and your effort and your worth into, and not coming from this place of these desires that can ultimately hurt your immune system or hurt your body, hurt your health, hurt the responsibilities and the real world things that you need to take care of. And so a lot of negative impulses, a lot of overindulgence can majorly come from this time of Mercury entering Taurus. So be very, very attentive to that. So that is your horoscope for April 2020, looking at the astrology. I want to go ahead and look at what the cards have to say. And so I am using the Connolly Tarot deck, as well as the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle deck, the Black Moon Astrology deck, and we have a card here from the original playing cards as well. So we're going to go ahead and see what the cards have to say in correspondence to the astrology. So first card we get here is materialism. And it's interesting because throughout this, I mentioned a lot about desires and overindulgence and your health. And also belief systems and values as well. And so there is a lot to say here about holding on to toxic beliefs, toxic behaviors, right? Making sure that you are not doing things that compromise your health or your daily responsibilities, not holding on to these old, toxic, outdated things in your life, right? So this includes toxic foods, this includes drinking, this includes a lot of things that are all consuming, right? And there is something big to say about how Sagittarius is a very indulgent sign, right? And this is not a bad thing, this is not a negative thing. For those of you out there, Sagittarius is here to explore and enjoy life. But be very cautious at this time that you are not overindulging, that you are not going too far, getting stuck into these toxic behaviors and old, outdated belief systems. Now we have the Seven of Swords here. And so this is a major time of needing to bring things in your life into harmony, into alignment, right? There's a lot of fear, a lot of confusion, a lot of things that are out of place, and very much corresponding with this restless energy that we talked about, right? A lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of mental activity going on here for those of you who have Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising, that this is a really good time for you to find an outlet for all of this energy and excitement, right? To do something creative, to do something that really puts that energy out, right? For some of you, that is a new project. For some of you, that is exercise. But doing something so that you can extinguish all of this energy and all of this activity going on. And for many of you, with the Seven of Swords here, there's a lot of mental activity that is negative, that is holding you back, that is fearful at this time. And so this is a big moment of really defining your belief systems, defining your thoughts, and also finding an outlet for all of this energy and mental activity, right? Making a choice, making a decision about what it is that you're going to do at this time, as this can majorly affect you health-wise in your life. With the Tower card here, once again, you are going through major changes, major restructuring in your daily life. A lot of big changes happening here. A lot of moments of things falling apart, things not going as you'd like them to. Because this is a major moment for you to rebuild your life. This is a major moment for you to create new beginnings in your life. Once again, corresponding with that creative energy of really starting, creating, doing something new within your life. With the Seven of Wands, once again, making that choice about what it is that you are going to do in order to move forward in your life. And for many of you, planning ahead, making a plan, making a choice about how you're going to utilize your time and energy so that you are not in this space of confusion, of restlessness, of fear. Right, so focusing that energy into something of value, something that you are passionate about. There's also a lot of clarity, a lot of wisdom, a lot of answers that you have been searching for, that you have been seeking for, that is going to come to the light here in April. And so with this, keep in mind that these times that you are going through of confusion, of doubting, of fears, that there is a lot of questioning, a lot of wondering, especially that I'm getting from those of you with Sagittarius rising, even for those of you with Sagittarius Sun, as this is creating a lot of restless energy, a lot of questions, a lot of things on your mind coming up. Keep in mind that these results, these answers that you are looking for will come. In supporting that activation of your 5th house, your 6th house, and your 2nd house, once again, with the Chariot card here, it's time to take a new direction. It's time for you to put your creative ideas to use, to do something new, whether this is a hobby around the house, whether this is related to your work situation, whether this is a way to get your energy out. But there is something new that you need to do in order to move forward here in your life. And with this Page of Swords, being willing to take advice from others, being willing to learn something new, right? This page or princess in some other decks here, this energy of evolving and stepping into a space of authority, but still in this place of innocence and needing to learn, needing to develop and grow and to nurture yourself, as this energy does continue into the Queen energy, that this is a major time to take that advice, to allow others to help you, right? Don't stand stuck in your own belief systems, in your own philosophy, and not allow others to express their opinions and to help you on your path. But with the Ace of Pentacles, once again, this is opening up a new opportunity to you, right? So this is a new opportunity to grow. This is a new opportunity for finance. This is a new opportunity for rebuilding the structure and the security in your life. And so once again, taking those creative ideas, taking those visions, taking that restless energy and putting it to use to create something new, to create a new opportunity within your life. We do have Venus and Mars here. So once again, this creative, passionate energy where it is really asking you to do something different. It is really asking you to use your skills and your talents to create this new structure in your life, to do something new, to get this energy out. Remember, Mars is your energy levels, and there's a lot of energy here that is very passionate, that is very creative, that has strong desires. And so this is asking you to utilize all of that energy to create something new. Now keep in mind that there's a lot going on in your relationship house as well. And so for some of you out there, this Mars and Venus is your divine masculine and your divine feminine. And there is a call to create this relationship between your divine feminine and masculine within yourself, but also in relating to others out there. And for some of you, this is dealing with romance, right? There is a lot going on as far as your romantic situation, but also for some of you, dealing with business partners, dealing with friends, dealing with associates, right? This 7th house is relationships of all kinds. And once again, we do have Pisces here, where it is calling for you to be creative, to be artistic, to utilize your skills, your talents, your visions. Remember that Pisces is sitting in your 4th house for many of you, in your home and family. And so for many of you, you have a lot of creative skills and talents. As in your home and family life growing up, you were given that freedom to utilize that imagination and that creativity. So this is calling for you to do something new, something different, to use all of this restless energy and all of this imagination and creativity to create something brand new in your life. And we do have Taurus here in reverse. It says, Taurus, I have. We also have a few corresponding cards in reverse as well. We have Jupiter return benefits in reverse as well as Venus love that is in reverse. And so with this energy, at this time, it can feel like you don't have the love that you want, or you don't have the financial opportunity that you want, or you can't live by the values, the routines, the ways that you've set your life up by, or that your self-worth is going down as you are living in fear, as you are uncertain at this time. And so it can very much feel like, for you, Sagittarius, like these particular areas of work, of routines, of relationships is not on for you at this time, is not going the way that you would like it to at this time. Remember that those are the major areas where we're seeing very intense shifts happen, right? That relationship house, especially later on, as Venus does go retrograde and makes a conjunction to the North Node, that there's a lot going on here for you in terms of what you feel like you have, or what you feel like you're putting your values into, or what you feel like you should be achieving or accomplishing at this time. It can feel like you don't have everything that you want or would like to have at this time. But with this 11th house, friends, remember we talked about this earlier about how it is important to take the advice of others at this time. It is important to allow others to help you at this time, as this is very much about pulling your benefits, pulling your inspiration from others, especially in your family life, right? We saw a lot of that activity going on with Neptune in Pisces, where a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity, a lot of inspiration can come from your family and home life. And so for those of you who are shut in with your family at this time of lockdown, at this difficult time, there's actually a lot of inspiration, a lot that can be pulled from connecting to those that you deeply care about, right? And for many of you with Sagittarius rising, especially Pisces in your fourth house, you hold family very dear to you, right? Very sentimental area of your life. With Black Moon Lilith here, says Black Moon Lilith mystery. Remember that Lilith is spending a great deal of time in your house of family as well as your house of creativity. And so once again, a lot that can be pulled as far as creative ideas, inspiration from your family, from your home life, from your connections, from exploring and connecting to others. And so again, there's a lot here in terms of, and I love this word mystery here, as it does deal with hidden desires. It does deal with wanting to do things your own way, wanting to do things in a different way, in a way that is unaccepted by society, right? This is the dark side of femininity, right? That Lilith didn't want to give in to Adam. If we go back to the story of Adam and Eve, right? She wanted to do her own thing. So this is the darker element of femininity, where it is asking you to explore these creative ideas, to explore what you can create, what you can do at this time. And so this can create a major time of mystery, of adventure, of really searching and looking for something new, right? And for many of you with this Sagittarian energy, right, this can make you feel very frustrated at this time, as we are in a moment of lockdown, where many of you with this Sagittarian energy want to go out, want to have adventures, want to explore. Remember that at this time, it's asking you to explore within your mind, right? And Neptune and Mercury are playing a huge role in this. Sitting in that house of creativity and in that house of home and family. And so this can be a big time for adventure, for excitement, for exploring new ideas, coming up with new possibilities, getting involved in new hobbies, new activities, right? For those of you with restless energy, this energy is here so that you can do something with it, so that you can utilize it within your home. And it's interesting that we do get the 9 of diamonds here. 9 is this number representing Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius is the 9th sign in the zodiac. We also can correspond this number 9 with endings, with freedom, with releasing, letting go, right? This 9 at the end of things, the last number. And so it is a major time for you to release old beliefs, to release old ways of doing things, right? And for many of you with Capricorn sitting in your second house, many of you have these strong values, these strong belief systems surrounded around the things that you deem valuable, the things that you hold great standards in. But this is asking you to change your structure. This is asking you to let go of your old structure, of your old values, your old belief systems surrounding the old ways of doing things. And so this is a time of rebuilding. This is a time of restructuring. This is a time of doing something different. So that was your April 2020 horoscope for Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Rising. Thanks so much for watching. This was a longer video, so if you stuck around until the end, thanks so much for watching. Once again, if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. Feel free to join the group Astro Metaphysical Love and Light to share your ideas, your wisdom, motivational advice, psychic readings, spiritual wisdom, anything of positivity, anything that can help lift us up. Feel free to join the group. And if you'd like to learn more about astrology with me, feel free to join the group Astrology Lessons with Daquan Jones. Once again, thanks so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.